Welcome to episode 9 of the podcast. I want to think about, have you ever told yourself, if I can't do it perfectly, then I won't do it at all? Or maybe you would try to start a new habit and you'd be really intense. Let's go all in, only to abandon it when life gets busy. If so, this episode is going to be for you. I want to let you know I get it. I coach my clients on this all the time, and I've coached myself on this too. If you're new here, my name is Cami. I'm a life coach, and you're in the right spot if you are a high achiever, a perfectionist, or someone who just generally has a negative brain and you tend to beat yourself up. So I want to bring it back to a client that I was coaching for 6 months one on one. And when she came to me, she was like, I'm just so stuck. Like when I get home from work, I'm so tired. I just lay on the couch. It's not what I want to be doing. I want to start making friends. I want to start doing things. I want to start working out. And she was having the hardest time being able to start working out. And the reason why was because she was telling herself that she's out of shape. She used to work out. She used to be an athlete. She used to run for an hour. And she just wasn't able to do that anymore because she was out of shape. So, what I did with her is we set a really small goal. She had an exercise bike. We set a goal for her to get on the bike, pedal for 5 minutes, and then celebrate herself. And I know this sounds crazy, but one of the problems is that high achievers, perfectionists, we have this idea in our mind of how to do it. And then if we can't do it perfectly, or if we can't do it for an hour, we don't do it at all. And then it just goes months and months, years and years where you're not doing the thing. So instead of sticking to a 24/7 hour-long routine, being very rigid with yourself, we want to actually build consistency through tiny habits. So for recovering perfectionists, that means your strategy is going to look different. So the power of consistency is not coming from, if I miss a day, then I've failed, right? If I can't do it perfectly, I'd rather not do it at all. If you end up thinking this, you're going to be burnt out because you're always going to be negative to yourself, whether you do it or not. And this is all or nothing thinking. All or nothing thinking says, I'm not going to do it if I can't do it perfectly. And a way to reframe this is the universe doesn't actually require perfection in order to reward your efforts. It actually simply requires your presence, your ability to show up for yourself and then be present with love. So remember, we're not just trying to build consistency so we can prove it to ourselves that we're good enough. We're actually building presence throughout the process. So number one, the way to start being consistent is to stop the all or nothing thinking. Number two, we talk about tiny habits. And this is actually taught by BJ Fogg, who I know his family, I know his teaching. And the teaching is very simple. It is breaking down your habit into something very, very small, and then adding it to something you already do every day, and then making sure that you're celebrating yourself for it. So here's what this could look like. We all get out of bed in the morning, right? So as soon as you put your feet on the ground, you could add your tiny habit to putting your shoes on. That's it. And then you would say, good job, I put my shoes on. You do that for the first week. Then for the second week, you'd put your shoes on. You would take a walk to the mailbox, celebrate yourself. Then the third week, you'd put your shoes on. You'd take a walk around the block and celebrate yourself. And it sounds so silly, but it works. And this is what I did to get back on track with my fitness routine because I'm a former health coach. I'm one of those people who thinks I should work out for 90 minutes. It should look a certain way. I should be doing it 5 days a week. And that was never serving me. So now my goal is to get to the gym 4 days a week with a minimum of 20 minutes. And what I realized is there was a lot of times where I would skip the gym because I think I didn't have enough time. And what happened for me this week is I went to the gym. I realized I miscalculated. I actually didn't have enough time, but I was able to get in 2 leg workouts, 2 leg exercises. Whereas before I would have said, I can't do it. I don't have time. So this is what you want to think about, right? Like a workout is better than no workout. This is the same thing for people who are getting started on their business and they're starting to create consistency for social media, you actually need to start with something small. So if you're not posting at all, you want to start with posting once a week, right? Instead of some of you guys are trying to jump into 5 days a week and then you're beating yourself up. So we want to start with tiny habits. And then the celebration part is really key. I require my clients, my one-on-one clients, every time they come to a weekly coaching call, they show up with 3 wins that they're celebrating. And in the beginning, it's so hard because your brain is not used to looking for the good. Your brain is only used to beating yourself up, telling you you didn't do enough. But once you change this, you're going to start to see more momentum. You're going to start to have more energy. And this is what's going to help you with your consistency. Because guess what? Our brains are just like dogs. Okay? I used to be a former dog trainer as well. I was a dog trainer. I was a personal trainer. Now I'm a life coach trainer, essentially helping you to train your brain to think thoughts and take the actions to get the results that you want to get. And when I was dog training, right, we give treats to the dog when it sits because that's what we want it to do. We want it to sit. And the more it gets treats, the more it will offer the sit position. So for you, if you want to be consistent, you want to give your nervous system a treat. I don't mean actually eating food. That's probably going to be the opposite of your goal. But what I mean is giving your body, your nervous system a treat by saying, good job. And you can do it very simply. You can say, oh, I'm so proud of myself. Put your hand on your heart. You could say yes and actually use your hands. You can pat yourself on the back and say, good job. The actual act of using your body is what BJ Fogg teaches, is what anchors it in, is what makes it feel real to your body. All right. So, this is the third thing, celebrating those tiny wins. This is teaching your brain to create successful habits. It's about creating the habit. It's not about the result. Because guess what? If you're building a business and you're marketing yourself online, it will take multiple repetitions of marketing and posting and emailing and offering for you to get the client to create the revenue. It will take multiple iterations of you going to the gym, going for walks, lifting weights. And so you want to celebrate the tiny wins on the way to build the habit, which is going to create consistency, which is going to get you the result over time. So remember, you can tell yourself as simple as, I did it. Even for 2 minutes, that counts. I did it. Right? So I always tell my clients 5 minutes of stretching is enough. 10 minutes of walking is enough. Insert whatever time, 7 minutes, 6 minutes, doesn't matter. Same thing. 1 Facebook post is enough if you're doing 0. Then you can bump it up to 2, then you can bump it up to 3, but tell yourself what you're doing is enough. This brings us to step 4. You are enough. So a lot of times we aren't consistent because we're telling ourselves we can't follow through. We failed in the past. See, we're telling ourselves a story like, see, I'm just a slob. I'm just lazy. What if you started coming from, I am enough? And from this place of I am enough, I desire to build this habit. I desire to show up on social media or show up at the gym or become a runner or build a strong core. Because remember, the way that law of attraction works is your intention is powerful. So instead of forcing yourself to do something, think about creating desire from this place of I am enough. And what you can do is start using your affirmations, using some journaling of all the ways that you are enough, that you are proud of yourself. And this is going to help you to start to believe that more. So let's think about how to practice this week. You can pick one tiny habit, keep it very simple and very doable. You're going to celebrate it once you do it. Say out loud, I'm proud of myself for showing up, maybe with a hand on the heart. And then remember to speak kindly to yourself, especially when you're going to bed and you're having racing thoughts. Each day you can say, what I did today was enough. And then think about this as a reflection. You can use this in a journaling reflection. Where am I expecting perfection when consistency would serve me better? Where am I expecting perfection when consistency would serve me better? Another way to think of this is like, what unrealistic goal do I have right now? Unrealistic expectation. For me, it was this expectation of working out for 90 minutes. I used to do that in my 20s when I was a college athlete. I used to work out twice a day. I used to work out 3 hours a day. That's just not a great expectation for where I'm at now in life, just turning 40, with the way my body is changing with my hormones, and let's face it, with my schedule. With me running a multiple six-figure business, I've gotta keep it tight, right? So I gotta keep it 30 minutes to an hour, 20 minutes some days. And same thing if you're showing up for social media, if you're showing up for emails. I have a lot of people in their business, they're thinking they should be doing something. And actually, you could also ask, what if this was easy? How could I make this easier? So reminding yourself today, you do not need to be perfect. You just need to keep showing up with love and presence. We start with self acceptance. Telling yourself you're good enough is going to help you build consistency. And feel it with me right now. Place a hand on your heart and just say to yourself, I am showing up. And that is more than enough. And if your brain says, no, you're not, here's all the ways you're not showing up, you've got to argue with your brain for the positive. Think about all the things that you're now doing that are automatic, like brushing your teeth, right? When you were like 4 or 5 years old, that was hard. You couldn't do it. And now look at you as an adult. You just brush your teeth twice a day because that's what you do. Or maybe you're posting 2 times a week on social media and you want to up it up to 4 or 5. So think about what you are already doing and how you're proud of yourself, how you are showing up, and that will create more desire to show up in the way that you desire to get another goal, right? You might have achieved one goal. Now we want to reach another goal. That's going to require a new level of showing up. Now, don't be in the all or nothing camp. Don't tell yourself you're not good enough. Don't beat yourself up and feel shame. That's not going to work. You want to tell yourself good job, tell yourself you're proud, celebrate yourself for showing up, and then decide, okay, what result do I want to create? And what do I think I need to create in terms of my habits, in terms of my consistency in order to create that result? And then you start doing it in tiny ways and you celebrate. So if you loved this episode, please comment below, subscribe here on YouTube. Once we get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, I will put all of these podcasts up on your regular podcast platforms. But I'm growing the channel now, so please share it with a friend, comment below, and subscribe. And if you would like more support and you'd really like to dive deep into releasing perfectionism, starting to take action from a place of consistency and intuition and peace and having this inner sense of power, then check out my 6-week coaching program. It's called Intuitive Breakthrough, and the link is in the description. You can apply for it now.